about to pursue the idea that God gave him, but someone came and told him he couldn't do it. So without hesitation, he decided to let the dream go away. He decided to let the idea die. A few days later, the same man was found in front of his mirror, and he was in the mirror looking at himself, and he's like, "You're a mighty man of God, you got this. You're going to come through this. Everything's going to be all right." And he sat there and encouraged himself, and all of a sudden the same person that came the first time came back the second time and said, "You really can't believe that about yourself. Come on, you got to know better than to know that you're really all of that." And so he decided to turn away from the mirror, and instead of speaking life, he decided to speak death to himself. At the end of what he showed me, what I wrote was, anybody in their right mind would look at this man and say, "How could you allow anyone to talk you out of what God has called you to?" But then at the end of the situation, we realized that Satan did the same thing to us. And so with that in mind, this conference is F.R.E.S.H conference, fire, rain, earthquakes, tsunamis, and hurricanes. All of these things are elements that bring destruction into us physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Anytime a storm happens and it's all the way down to its narrowest foundation, anything you plant at that time is going to do what? It's going to grow. Because the ground at that point is fertile. So we can't be adults and not admit that there are some storms we've gone through and everything is destroyed, and all of a sudden we start speaking crazy stuff. And we planted those things, and now those things are starting to grow. But it's time for us as people of God to realize where we're supposed to be, and to step into those positions and claim what is rightfully ours. There's no way to get around that. And some of us say it's too hard, I've been in it too long. But if you never do it, can you imagine dying like you are right now? With the things that you know God has promised to do in you, and you die with all those things in you. There's something that God has called each one of us to do. And we have to get going with it. We have to get stepping with it. And we can't play with it any longer. We can't put it off or put it on hold. We have to go full force.